Hello, lovelies. If you are looking for an absolutely delicious way to step up your weekend brunch game, then you have come to the right place, because today I am sharing this incredible breakfast casserole that is just bursting with the most amazing flavors, and my entire family is loving right now, particularly Elle, who just happens to really dig weekend brunch. And the best part is it's really easy to make. So let's get started. Now the first step here is just going to be cooking up some sausage. So here I have some breakfast sausage. I've just removed it from its casing and I'm just going to get it into a pan like this. And I want to use my spoon to just break it into pieces, and I'm going to cook that up until it's no longer pink. Now there is just so much to love about breakfast sausage. It's salty, it's fatty, it's got a ton of great flavor. So it is perfect in a dish like this. Now I've opted for some pork breakfast sausage here, but you can often at most supermarkets now find chicken or turkey. So if you wanted to swap in poultry instead, you definitely could. And I like to just break it up into little bits so it gets really well distributed into my casserole, and you basically get more sausage per square bite, and that is not a bad thing. Now, just as soon as our sausage is no longer pink, I want to add even more great flavor to this. So I've got an onion here that I've just chopped up, and I also have some red bell pepper. This is going to give this some really nice color. And I just want to let these soften up a little bit. If you put these into your casserole raw, there's a good chance that they won't fully cook and you'll end up with crunchy veggies, and that's not what you want. You want everything to have a really sort of uniform texture. So you want to give them maybe 2 to 4 minutes to get nice and soft with that sausage. And then we can remove this from the heat and go ahead and set it aside while we get to work on our egg mixture. In my bowl, I have got 8 eggs, and to that, I'm going to be adding a good splash of half and half cream. Now you could do this with milk if you wanted to keep it a little bit lighter, or with full fat cream if you wanted to make it a little heavier and richer. I like using half and half because it's sort of the best of both worlds. I'm gonna go ahead and whisk this up really well until it's nicely combined. I'll season it with some salt and some pepper, and then I'll set it aside while we get to work on assembling our casserole. As you can see, I've got a nice large rectangular casserole dish here. Super important with this recipe to grease it really, really well, because of course you don't want this to stick to your dish. You want it to be able to slide out really easily. So you want to grease it liberally, either with a little bit of oil or with some butter. Both work really well. Next, I am going to get down a layer of frozen hash brown potatoes. So you can find these in the freezer section at your supermarket. It's really important to use frozen hash brown potatoes here as opposed to raw fresh potatoes, because these are already partially cooked. So they're gonna have enough time to get nice and sort of tender during the cooking process. If you tried to use, say, fresh raw potatoes, they wouldn't have enough time in the oven to get fully cooked, and you'd end up with really crunchy potatoes, and it would not taste particularly nice. So frozen hash brown potatoes it is. And then I'm going to get in here with half of my sausage mixture. So we're gonna make almost like a layered sort of lasagna-esque situation happen here. Just wanna get that well sort of distributed in my pan. I wanna put down a nice layer of cheese, because let's be honest, there's never such thing as too much shredded cheddar cheese. It's important to layer your ingredients and things like this. Have you ever had a plate of nachos come and all of the toppings are sort of piled on top, but there's nothing in between? That's how I feel about layering. You wanna make sure that you've got layers and layers of goodness. Then I'll just go ahead and repeat those layers with more frozen hash brown potatoes and more of that amazing sausage mixture. I'm going to pour over my egg mixture, and then we'll add our final layer of cheese on top. I've got my oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to get this into the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour, just until those potatoes are nice and tender and your eggs have set completely. Now, if you find during the cooking process that the top is getting too golden too quickly, not to worry, just lay a sheet of aluminum foil on top and allow it to continue cooking. Seriously, friends, this is almost too good to be true. It smells amazing, and I can guarantee you it tastes even better. I cannot wait to dig in. I like to go ahead and top it all off with some freshly chopped green onion for good measure, and then serve it up with a nice dollop of sour cream on the side. Now this, my friends, is what I call a breakfast that is worth waking up for. Trust me when I tell you guys, this is one of those recipes your family is going to be clamoring for week after week after week. Don't believe me? Give it a try for yourselves. If you do, be sure to tweet me, Instagram me, or Facebook me a photo, because I always love seeing your kitchen creations. This recipe, like all of my recipes, is featured on healthymealplans.com, our amazing meal planning site that allows you to browse more than 1,000 recipes, drag and drop them into your weekly meal plan, and then automatically generates your grocery list for the week. If you haven't checked it out, I hope you will. It is guaranteed to make your life in the kitchen easier, which of course is what we are all about here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe because there is lots more deliciousness where this came from.